So we can have the equation of this perpendicular line as using this equation y minus y1 equals gradient times x minus x1. So y minus, what is this midpoint? 1 comma 5. So 5 equals 2 times x minus 1. So if you make this is going to be 2x minus plus 3. Okay, this will be the equation of the perpendicular line. So how to get the perpendicular line? We are using two features. What are those two features? One is midpoint, other one is perpendicular. We can find the midpoint, and since it is perpendicular, we can find the gradient. When we know the gradient and the one point of a line, we can write the equation. So to get the gradient, we can use these 2 points and then get the gradient of this line. And using the relationship, if two lines are perpendicular, this is the relationship. So we can apply this and get the gradient of the perpendicular line. Okay, I think it is similar to the D, E, and F. All of you quickly do D, E, F parts. D, E, F. So what is the midpoint of P and Q? We can take it as M. So the midpoint equals minus 4 plus minus 4 divided by 2, comma 7 minus 1 divided by 2. We have minus 4 comma 3. That is going to be the midpoint of P and Q. And what is the gradient of PQ? MPQ. It is equal to 7 minus minus 1 divided by minus 4 minus minus 4. Now I feel like there is something interesting going to come. What is going to come? The upside we have 8. Downside what we have? Minus 4 plus 4. It's going to be 0. Are we going to be dividing by 0 at any case? No, this is a undefined format of mathematics, no, dividing by 0. What do you understand this when you get this idea? Now think of these 2 points on a grid. Where will be this point? Minus 4 comma 7. Minus 4, x is minus 4, y is 7. It's going to be something like this, no? This point. Minus 4, 7. So y and x. Okay. And what about Q point? This is P. Minus 4 comma minus 1. It's going to be somewhere here, no? Q is going to be here. If you join P and Q, what is the line you are going to get? A line parallel to y-axis, no? A line parallel to y-axis. So what is the importance about these lines? The lines which are parallel to y-axis, they have an infinite gradient. Actually, we don't talk about the gradient of lines parallel to y-axis. So how can we write the equations of those lines? How can we write? The mode that we are writing them as, actually, we can take here. We don't talk about the uh, the gradient, why it is an infinite value. Why can't we say it is infinite? Infinite is not a number. So, but how do we write the equation is we just write at any point of this line, what is the x value? It's going to be -4. So we write just using x only, x equals -4. Okay. Now there is something important you can understand. So now what will be the gradient of the other line, which is perpendicular to this line? If you draw any line perpendicular to this line, what is it going to be? It's going to be parallel to which axis? X-axis. All these perpendicular lines to this line PQ is going to be parallel to x-axis. So when they are parallel to x-axis, how we write the equation? We can write y equals 1, y equals 2, y equals 6, or y equals -3, y equals -5, like that, no? What has happened to the gradient? Gradient equals 0. Those are two important points that you should keep in mind. What are those important points? When a line is parallel to y-axis, we don't mention a gradient about that line because the gradient is infinite. So what do we usually, when we are writing those equation, we just use x equals to something, x equals -4 something. But when they are parallel to x-axis, the gradient is 0. So now we can take in this situation, what can we write here? So from this point onwards, we can write uh, PQ is parallel to y-axis. Therefore, perpendicular line is parallel to x-axis. So gradient of perpendicular line equals, I write the gradient of perpendicular line as MP equals 0. Now you can write the equation of that line, no? Y minus y1 equals gradient times x minus x1. What is a y1? 3 here. Gradient 0 times x minus -4. Doesn't matter whatever we put inside the bracket, 0 times, when we multiply by 0, it's 0. So what is it that going to be the equation? Y equals 3. Okay. This is the equation of the perpendicular line. This is an important feature. I think some of you might see this feature for the first time. How to get the gradient of a line parallel to y-axis. Actually, there is no gradient. Gradient is not defined for the lines parallel to y-axis. Okay. We tend to say it has an infinite slope. What about E? 411 minus 5 minus 1. How to get the perpendicular bisector? Equation of the perpendicular bisector. When you are doing these algebraic sums, the graphical things also should be in your mind, like S and T are 2 points, midpoint will be somewhere, and the perpendicular bisector is going right in the middle like that. Okay, so midpoint you can take it as m 4 plus minus 5 divided by 2 comma 11 minus 1 divided by 2. So half, sorry, minus half comma 5. This is going to be what? Midpoint. And how to get the gradient of ST? MST equals how much? 11 minus minus 1 divided by 4 minus minus 5. We have 12 divided by 9, which is equal to 4 over 3. So if the gradient of the perpendicular line is MP times MST should be equal to minus 1. Two lines are perpendicular, gradient equals minus 1. So perpendicular line 4 over 3 equals minus 1. So MP equals minus 3 over 4. So now how can we find the equation of the perpendicular line? We know a point, we know the gradient. So y minus y1 equals gradient times x minus x1. Y minus 5 equals minus 3 over 4, x minus minus half. If you simplify a bit, you will have minus 3 over 4x. Here what do we have? It's going to be plus and again minus. Plus 5. So y equals minus 3 over 4x plus 37 over 8. What is part F? 13, 11, 5, 11. Here also, if you notice about these points, you can see some similarity, no? What is about the y coordinates? They are the same. Then when 2 points, the y coordinates are the same, you can get the sense that this line is going to be parallel to x-axis. So the gradient of that line should be equal to 0. So the gradient of the perpendicular line is going to be infinite, which means it is parallel to y-axis. You must get those senses. Okay, never mind. If you continue the traditional method, we will come to some situation, no? So what is the midpoint? 13 plus 5 divided by 2, 11 plus 11 divided by 2. We have 18 divided by 2, 9, again 11, 9 comma 11. So what is the gradient of xy? What is the gradient? 11 minus 11 divided by 13 minus 5. So it is going to be 0 over 8, which is equal to 0. Now, if this gradient is 0, if you put into that our earlier equation, see, mxy into the perpendicular line gradient equals to be minus 1. So what do we have? 0 times MP equals minus 1. If you make MP as the subject or the perpendicular line, the gradient is going to be what? Minus 1 over 0, which is a undefined format. We can't divide by 0. It's not defined, no? So we get to the idea that since xy is parallel to x-axis, perpendicular line is parallel to y-axis. So a line will come like this, and the what is 1 point? Oh no. Oh yeah. So the perpendicular line is going to be something like this, no? So this will be x and y. Can say 13 and 11, and here it's going to be 5 and 11. So here it will be parallel to x-axis. What is this midpoint we got? 9, 11. So now we know what this is going to be something parallel to y-axis. So this x coordinate is not going to change. Okay, if this x coordinate is not going to change, that means the equation of this line is x equals 9. Okay, if you plot these points accurately on a grid, you will understand this much clearly. If you don't, you still get it. Now look at the question number 2. If G is a diameter of the circle center C where F and G are 2. Nothing new. It's the same thing asking. Huh? Now what is the thing? Using this midpoint, always we are going to find the perpendicular line. So the knowledge on finding the gradient of the perpendicular line is tested again and again. See, that question is given as a exam style question. So this type of parts will come in the exam essay. What are they saying? There is a circle, C is the center, G and F are 2 ends of a diameter. And a line called L passes through the C and perpendicular to this F and G. And they are asking, what is the equation of that line? So what is F and G? Minus 2, 5, 2 and 9. Minus 2, 5. And here we have 2 and 9. How can we find the equation of the perpendicular line? It's the same procedure. We find the midpoint, we find the gradient, and we get the gradient of this L and write the equation. So we can write C, how much? 2 minus 2 divided by 2, comma 9 plus 5 divided by 2. So sometimes I don't write plus minus 2 because it's going to end up in minus 2. Okay, you have to identify those situations. Don't mix them up. Okay, it's going to be 0, no? And here 14 divided by 2, 7. So center is going to be 0, comma 7. And how to get this perpendicular line now? Before that, we have to get the gradient of GF, no? MFG or GF. How much? 9 minus 5 divided by 2 minus minus 2. So 4 divided by 4 equals to 1. Now we have MFG times ML, the gradient of that line should be equal to minus 1. So 1 times ML equals minus 1. So ML is going to be equal to minus 1. So we know the gradient, we know a point. What we can do, can use the equation y minus y1 should be equals to gradient times x minus x1. So y1, how much is y1? 7 equals minus 1 times x minus 0. Y equals minus x plus 7. Try to understand the question number 4 and do it. Don't wait until I am going to explain it and do. What you can do about part 4? You can think ABC as vertices of a triangle, no?
Part 4, there are 4 points.
Oh, sorry. There are 4 points, no? A, B, C, and D, no? Thanks for noting it. You can think like quadrilateral, no? No need to draw quadrilateral. Never mind. Let's draw it. Okay. We can think them as coordinates of a the edge points of a quadrilateral. So what do you have? -4, -9. -4, -9. B 6, -3. C 11, 5. And D -1, 9. Find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of the line segment AB. Perpendicular bisector. That means the perpendicular bisector of this line AB, no? We have to find the equation of this line. What we have to do? Fine. Let's take this point as E. So we can take E, middle point, no? We know how to do. -4 plus 6 divided by 2, comma, -9 plus -3 divided by 2. It's going to be 1. Here -12, so -6, 1, comma, -6. And we can find the gradient of AB, no? What is the gradient? MAB is equal to -9 minus -3 divided by -4 -6. So we have here -6 upside, downside we have -10. So it's like -3/5. Oh no, both are minus, so it's +3/5. So we know the gradient of this AB line. So we know the perpendicular line. If we take as ME, so the gradient of that line is going to be how much? Product is -1 always. So ME is equal to how much? 3/5 into -1. So that gradient is equal to -5/3. So we can find the equation by this equation. Y minus y1 equals gradient times x minus x1. So y minus how much? E -6, no? Equals -5/3 x minus 1. So we got y equals -5/3 times x plus 5/3 minus 6. Y equals -5/3 times x. If all this a little, -18 plus 5. So -13/3. This will be the perpendicular bisector of line AB. Then they are asking the perpendicular bisector of the line CD. What to do? It's the same thing you have to repeat. If we draw the perpendicular bisector of CD here, if it will have a line like this, no? Somewhere they will join. That comes for the later part. So how to get the equation of this line? So I take the midpoint of CD as F. So the point F we can take by getting the midpoint. 11 minus 1 divided by 2, 5 plus 9 divided by 2. Got 10 divided by 2, 5. 14 divided by 2. How much? We get 7. 5 comma 7. This is going to be 5 comma 7. And what is the gradient of CD? And CD equals 9 minus 5 minus 1 minus 11. So 4 over minus 12, which is equal to minus 1 over 3. So gradient of the perpendicular line, I would write MF times MCD should be equal to minus 1. So MF times minus 1 over 3 equals minus 1. MF equals 3. So we know the 1 point, we know the gradient. We can use this equation y equals y1 minus y1 gradient times x minus x1 and find the equation of the line. We got the equation as the perpendicular bisector of CD as how much? Y equals 3x minus 8. So that is going to be the part D. Sorry, part B. What is in the part C? They ask in the coordinates of the points of the intersection of these perpendicular bisectors. That means the coordinate of this point. How do we get? We know if we algebraically solve these 2 points. What points? So these 2 equations, the intersection point going to come by the solutions for these 2 simultaneous equations. So it's just solving the 2 simultaneous equations, but you have to know the theory. What is the theory? By algebraically solving 2 simultaneous equations, you are getting the intersection point. You are thinking in terms of graphically. Okay. So it's the same thing. Y equals this one, y equals this one. So I can equalize these 2 equations, no? So when at these meeting points, one should be equal to 2. So I can write minus 5 over 3x minus 13 over 3 equals 3x minus 8. If we can take x's to this side, the things to the other side, no? So 8 minus 13 over 3 equals 3x plus 5 over 3x. (24 minus 13). What do we get? Get 11 equals 14x. So we get x equals 11 over 14. Is that the answer you got? Or you got different answers? I got x equals 11 over 14. You can chat. Put.
Yes, yes, that's
Okay, thank
answer.
you. So by substituting this value in the second equation, we can take y equals 3 times 11 over 14 minus 8. So all you will have 33 minus big value, no? 180 plus 32, 112, no? It's minus 81 over 14. So the points of intersection will be 11 over 14, comma, minus 81 over 14. Yeah. Not 81, 79, no? It should be 79. Yes, minus 79. Look at the question number 5. Since we are doing online, I think we can do another day also, the class.
Okay.
So, because it is much needed, unless we are going running short of the time. In the last moment, I will be doing rushing through the lessons if we don't have the, if we could not manage the time. So it will be much better if we rush through the lessons as early as possible so we can have a decent time to do past papers. So in this week, what is the time available for you? I mean, like, if I can have 2 hours before Friday, that means before the end of Friday. Is there any time that all you of you are free? I would say, what about Friday 8 to 10?
Yeah, chemistry.
Yeah, chemistry. What about Friday? Okay, tomorrow.
Friday after that he has psychology. Me and Sabri only.
Sorry, Dinush, what do you say?
After chemistry, me and Sabri have psychology.
Psychology, no? So Friday,
Yeah.
that means. What about Thursday? Can you guys put on
Physics,
the
then
chat that the times free for you?
they are following the same timetable, right?
Yes, yes. I can't find the timetable. That's why I'm asking.
Wait. Shall I send it then?
Okay. Please send it to me. Then I can have a look at it.
I sent it to the group.
Okay, I will look at the timetable and let you know our time. Sometimes if I can't find a time in the school time, I will send you a time out of the school time. Okay, like
Okay.
4 to 6 or 6 to 8 something. Don't get angry with me. Let's just do like 2 hour another class, 2 hour class. Okay. Okay. Congratulations. We don't have a time, no? So let's do on after school time. What about uh, Wednesday bio? Do you have bio tomorrow?
Only Sabri does, right?
Okay. So tomorrow afternoon not possible. I will let you know a time. Okay. I will let you know a time uh, in the WhatsApp group after this class. If you have any concerns on that time, let me know. Okay. If you have any concerns on that
Okay,
time.
sir.
Mostly it will be, I think it will be afternoon of Friday. Okay. Or afternoon of Thursday. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow only morning I am free. But Thursday and yeah, Thursday and Friday afternoons I can manage sometime. Okay, I will tell you a time. Let's do on that time. Okay, what is P for you? Question number 5. It's a easy one. But compared to others, it's a bit difficult, no? What is it? Point X has the coordinate 7 comma minus 2. 7 comma minus 2. Then point Y has the coordinate 4 comma Q. And the perpendicular bisector of XY equation has the equation. Yep. XY is joined and we can draw the perpendicular bisector. This one, this equation is y equals how much? 4x plus b. Find the value of q and the value of b. So we have two unknowns. How can we find those? Now, if we were to find only b, we could have done easily, no? We can get the middle point here, substitute it to this one. Yeah, it should satisfy the equation. So we can find b. But there is another unknown, q. How to deal with it? Ah, equation of the perpendicular line is given. So from this equation, we can grab something, no? This is in the format of y equals mx plus c. So we can get the gradient. How much is the gradient? Gradient of the perpendicular line is 4. So gradient of the, how much is the xy line? We can use the, our theory. What is our theory? mxy, gradient of the xy times the perpendicular line. So that gradient is 4, should be equal to -1. So mxy gradient equals -1/4. So the gradient of this xy line is -1/4. Now we can use this gradient to find what? Q, no? So we can write Q minus 2 divided by 4 minus 7 should be equal to -1/4. See the way that I picked it up? I look at this x and y. If I know the gradient, I can use that to find q. Then I look for the means where I can find the gradient of this line. So q plus 2 over -3 equals -1/4. So 4q plus 8 equals 3. Q equals -5/4. Q equals -5/4. I think all of you got the same answer. Tell me if it is wrong, okay? Because it's going to affect for the B also. Yes. Now how can we find B? Using this x and y, we can find the middle point M now. What is the midpoint? M should be equal to 7 plus 4 divided by 2, comma, minus 2 plus -5/4 divided by 2. We get 11/2, comma, what do we have here? -8 minus 13 divided by 8. -13 divided by 8. This is going to be the midpoint of the xy line. So now, since this is the midpoint, this should satisfy this y equals 4x plus b. See the way that I am using it? I earlier used it to get the gradient only. Now I am using, if this point is on this line, what it should be? It should satisfy. If this point is on this line, this point should satisfy this equation. So we can apply it to this equation and find b. So -13/8 should be equal to 4 times 11/2 plus b. So b equals -13 minus 44/2. So a big value is going to come, huh? Minus 13 plus 196. 176. So we have -189/8. See, we are not even learned a new theory using only the things we already knew. We use them back and forth and to find the unknown. So when you are doing these questions for the first time, it might may not be the case. You will be doing you might have found something which is not relevant to this. That's okay. That's how the thing goes on. It's not the first time that you discover the correct path and do it. But once you do these mistakes again and again, then you learn that automatically what is the correct method. But so this is the testing phase. Don't worry on doing in wrong methods and getting wrong answers. But if you don't go through this testing or trial and error period, what's going to happen? Exam period becomes your trial and period, trial and finding solutions period. So you don't have need to worry about that. Okay, challenge. I think you can do it yourself. It's not that what you have to do. They are telling what 3 points, no? Yep. Triangle. You can find the perpendicular bisectors doing the same thing for 3 times, no? And they are saying show that all those 3 points intersect at one point. How to take that thing? You can take two lines, two perpendicular bisectors, and then do what? Then, oh my god, one perpendicular bisector is totally wrong, no? Take two perpendicular bisectors and find the point of intersection. Then apply it to the other equation, then you will see it has the same, it satisfies the third equation, which means these three are going to cross at the same point. Okay, now let's jump into the new section, equation of a circle. All of you can write down the topic. What is the topic? This is the most important part, okay? Earlier one was a simple one, but this the is the thing we are going to learn now. It's going to affect for the total lesson. Equation of a circle. We draw we drive a lot of circles throughout our maths now. Since from the beginning of learning maths, we have learned we drove circles, but we did not ever thought of writing an equation for a circle. Let's try to do it now. What I am going to do? This is a circle on the XY grid. And I am taking this center. Center as A comma B. The coordinates of the center is how much? A comma B. Okay. And any point on this circle as X comma Y. Okay. What is it? Point on the circle as X comma Y. And you know, what is the distance between the center and the point? It is the radius, no? It should be the radius. Distance between the center and the any point given on the circle. It should be the radius. And last day we learned how to find what? The distance between two given points. How do we find? Now I am going to develop a equation for R using X and AB. X, Y, and AB. You know, this is going to be A, this is going to be X. And this point is going to be B, and this point is going to be what? It's going to be Y, no? So this distance is going to be how much? X minus A. And what is going to be this distance? Y minus B. Now if you look at this smaller triangle here, this length is equal to X minus A. This length is equal to Y minus B. And what do we have here? For this triangle, this is a right angle triangle. For this triangle, we can apply this radius. Radius to the power 2, no? R to the power 2 should be equal to x minus a to the power 2 plus y minus a to the, sorry, y minus b, no? b to the power 2. Surely this is the what? Equation of a circle. It's so easy, so simple. Look at here. We just use the Pythagorean theorem to, actually what we used was the distance between 2 points. We use that equation. To use this equation in this manner, what are the things given to us? Mostly, it will be what? It's going to be the radius will be given to us and the center is given to us. The radius and the center is given to us. We can write the equation of a circle in this format. Okay. Now there are some like patterns you have to understand in this equation. The way it is going on. It's a little bit lengthy equation. Okay, there are other forms also we will learn in the future. Like for the straight line, what we learned, for any straight line, there was a equation, no? What is that equation? For any straight line, we can write it into the format y equals mx plus c. And we know it is not the only format. Depending on the data given, we can use y equals y1, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. There are different shapes of this equation, no? Or we can write it as ax plus by plus c equals 0. This format also applicable for any straight line. Similarly, we learned what about curves. This kind of minimum or maximum kind of curves. It has the format of ax squared plus bx plus c equals y. This format, no, for the curves. And we learned about the cubic graphs. Ax cubed plus bx to the power 2 plus cx plus d. This has the this type of curves has this kind of a variation. And we learned apart from that the reciprocal graph. Y equals 1 over x. When we draw the y equals 1 over x graphs, what it got the shape? When the xy axis are there, it had this shape, no? Y equals 1 over x. I think the other way, no? This is minus 1 over x. Okay. This kind of a reciprocal graphs. Now for the graph or the equation of this circle also, there are different formats. Now the most important format is this one. Okay. Actually, in my mind, this is the only equation that is having. Using this equation, I am deriving other equations. Okay, you can note this thing down quickly. Note it yourself. You have to understand what is this A and B. Those are the center of the circle. Okay. What is R? It is the length of the radius. If you wrote this down, you can start working on the exercise 2C, question number 1 and 2, everything. Exercise 2C, question number 1 and 2, everything. Okay. like they are not that hard ones to write. Okay. Okay, so I will start the question number 1 of the exercise 2C. They are given as the radius and the center, so we have to write the equation. So you have to get yourself very much familiar with this equation. What is our standard format? Let's keep it here. So you can write x minus a to the power 2 plus y minus b to the power 2 equals r to the power 2. Okay, this is a standard format. So what is the part A? A is going to be 3, 2, and 4. Yep. So x minus 3 to the power 2 plus y minus 2 to the power 2 equals 4 to the power. It's okay. It's enough to keep in this format. Okay. You can remove the bracket and do many things. but it's not expected for this level. Okay, you are asked to just write get familiarized with this format. Okay, minus 4 comma 5. So x minus minus to the power 2 plus y minus 5 to the power 2 equals 6 to the power 2. These situations you can keep it as y x plus 4 to the power 2 plus y minus 5 to the power 2 equals 6 to the power 2. I recommend you to put these equations on the GeoGebra. Type this in the GeoGebra. You can use it in your mobile phone also, and look at the shapes of these graphs. Okay, it's really amazing, and you will make yourself much comfortable on seeing these equations if you do that. Okay, 5 comma minus 6, what is the radius? 2 comma square root 3. No, so what can we write here? X minus 5 to the power 2 plus y minus minus 6 to the power 2 equals to square root 3 to the power 2. Or I can make it a little bit nicer. X minus 5 to the power 2 plus y plus 6 to the power 2 equals, if you get the square of this side, 4 times 3, which is equal to 12. Okay, you don't know in always to keep it as a power 2, you can solve it and keep. Okay, what do we have for D? 2a comma 7a, and the radius is 5a. So for your equation, it will have the a. So x minus 2a to the power 2 plus y minus 7a to the power 2 equals 5a to the power 2. Or if you solve this a little, you can keep it as 25a to the power 2. What is it going to be? E. Minus 2 root 2 comma minus 3 root 2, and the radius r equals 1. How can you write the equation? The same thing, x minus minus 2 root 2 power 2 plus y minus minus 3 root 2 power 2 equals 1 to the power 2. So it's like x plus 2 root 2 to the power 2 plus y plus 3 root 2 to the power 2 equals 1. Okay. What is question number 2? Think we are done with the question number 1. All of you understood. It's just identify and get familiarized with the equation. Okay, equation of a circle. Where is the radius and how can we identify the center? Okay. This. Okay, let's do exercise 2C, question number 2. What is it? Write down the coordinates of the center and the radius of the circle, each circle. No? What is the first equation given to us? X plus 5 to the power 2 plus y minus 4 to the power 2 equals how much? 9 to the power 2. Now, how can we do this part? We know that when this part is equal to 0, we can get the center, no? So it should be in what is our standard format? Standard format is x minus a to the power 2 plus y minus b to the power 2 equals r to the power 2, radius to the power 2. Here in our standard format, it is minus, in between minus. Here we have plus. We can't say now we take as the center as 5, no? Not the 5. How we have to think? It should be x minus minus 5, no? Then only it can be a minus sign here. So the midpoint is going to be, the center is going to be what? Center is going to be minus 5 comma 4. Here it's okay. It's in the standard situation, okay? And the radius equal how much? 9, no? R to the power 2. So it's 9. So you just compare yourself with the knowledge, okay? Does it make sense? Himansha, did you understand? Chiranga, is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hope all of you are looking at the screen, okay? That means we are doing the work, okay? Similarly, now we can easily get through the other questions, no? For the part B, we can write the center as what? 7, comma 1. If any of you can't understand how I am writing this, you should ask me. 16. Now see, the other side is 16. So it should be in the power 2 format. So that means 16 we can write square root of 16, no? Radius should be square root of 16, which is equal to 4. And see, we have x plus 4 to the power 2 plus y squared equals 25. How can we take this into standard format? Okay, now we can write this as x minus minus 4, no? To the power 2. Here we have nothing with y. That means we can put a 0, like y minus 0 to the power 2 equals 5 to the power 2. Now it is in the standard format. So we can write now center. C as what? Minus 4 comma 0. And the radius equals how much? 5, no? Always you need to make sure it is in the standard format before writing the center and the radius, or before identifying the center and the radius. So for the D, center comes how much? Minus 4a, comma, minus a. And what about the radius? We have to get the square root of the given value, no? A squared. So it's going to be 12a. square root of 27. So this will be the answer. No, don't put it as 3. It's not the cubic root. So the square root of 27 is some decimal value. Okay. So now how can we write about the question number 3? I will just explain one question. You can do the rest at the home. Okay. What do we have? I will erase the things. So what is question number 3? In each case, show that the circle passed through the given point. What is the first equation? They are saying the equation of the straight line is what? Sorry, not the straight line. The circle is x minus 2 to the power 2 plus y minus 5 to the power 2 equals 18. No, 13, no? Equals 13. And they are asking that the point 4, comma 8 lies on the circle. How can we show it? Or passes through the given point 4, comma 8. How can we show it? What is the logic? If you are asked, you are given an equation and show that this point 4, comma 8 lies on this equation y equals something 2x plus 3 or something. How do you going to say this one? Just 4, comma 11. How do you say what is your logic? How do you prove that a point lies on a given equation? You just substitute that equation and show that it satisfies the equation. What it means by satisfying? That means the left side and the right side answer should be the same, no? When you apply to it like that, now what we can do? We can apply this point 4, comma 8 to this equation. And if this satisfies this equation, if this point satisfies this equation, then that means that it is on this circle. Okay. So how we are going to take? And we can substitute to left hand side. And if you solve it, we should be able to get the answer 13. Let's try to do it. So let's take LHS and substitute 4, comma 8. Okay. I'm just going to do what? Substitute 4, comma 8 into left hand side of the equation. So how much is it going to be? 4 minus 2 to the power 2 plus 8 minus 5 to the power 2. What do we have? 2 to the power 2 plus 3 to the power 2, which is equal to 4 plus 9 equal to 13, which is equal to right hand side. Therefore, 4, comma 8 lies on the circle. If you can't get it equal to the right hand side, if you got 14 or 15, what we can say? This is not in the circle. Okay. I think you understood the concepts, and I request you to go through almost all the questions on the exercise 2C. Okay, I will discuss some of the selected questions and jump onto the new theory on our next class I am going to do on this week. And okay, there's something that is not clear to you. Any logic? So basically, when you are thinking of a equation of a circle, this should come into your mind. Okay, like when you remember the Pythagoras theorem, what comes into your mind? A squared plus b squared equals c squared. No, this thing comes into your mind. Or when you think of a straight line, y equals mx plus c comes into your mind. Similarly, when you think of a circle, this the new thing should be going into your mind. So the exercise 2c is focusing on getting yourself familiarized with this equation. What is center, what is radius, and the other stuff. Okay. So if anything is not clear to you, you can ask me in the chat or anything. Okay.
No questions.
Okay. Thank you. So I will let you know a time for the other class. Until then, you can continue doing the work on the exercise 2C. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for your support. All of you very actively supporting, and I am really happy that all of you are supporting for the, that means attending the online class. Okay. I will put on the recording also to the chat. So if you have any doubts, you can go through the video again and clear them. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's
Thank
see.
you, sir.
Let's
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
we
sir.
can do the physical class. Okay. As soon as possible. Okay.